Tremolo, one of the oldest and still one of the coolest guitar sounds. Hi, I'm Roger. I get a lot of comments on my live and my recorded tremolo sound, and there's more to getting a good tremolo sound than just pushing the button on your amp or putting a stomp box on your pedal board. There's some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. I'm going to share all of them with you. I hope you stay with me. Before we get started, I'd like to say that there's probably no way I can fully explain this process where everyone will understand it. So I encourage you to ask any questions you have if you're interested in the comments. I really do try to answer them, and I'd love the dialogue, so there you have it. Here we go. Okay, let me first say I don't think there's anything wrong with having a tremolo in an amp. It's a really good sound, and some of them are the classic tremolo sounds, and some of them sound very good. What I don't like about having the tremolo in the amp is when you turn it on, you have tremolo on everything that you do at the same intensity all the time. I like the tremolo to vary some with the amount of grit and dirt that I use, with the volume control of the guitar. I like to turn it on and leave it on, and it becomes part of my sound. I like the tremolo very much because, number one, it's phase coherent. Number two, it also opens up some sonic space for other things to happen, sort of makes the guitar a little more transparent just because there's some gaps in it. So first off, we're going to start out. I'm just going to give you the signal path, and then we're going to add tremolo. So here we go. That is what I would call my baseline sound, and that is my amplifier just before breakup with my guitar on about 7. When I turn the guitar full on, you can hear you got a little bit of grit going on. We use the bridge pickup as well. So that's the first step. When you turn the tremolo on in that mode, with the guitar turned down, you have tremolo at the same intensity all the time. With the guitar wide open, you can hear that at the beginning of the sound, when I strum the chord, there isn't so much tremolo because it's being saturated and it's knocking the peaks down a little bit. And as the note decays, the tremolo becomes a little bit more intense. So we can go from clean, normal tremolo to play softer, you have tremolo, play harder, you get just that little bit of non-tremolo sound. Normally what I do is I'll set up a little bit of boost and a bit of grit. I've got a low gain overdrive after the tremolo. So with the guitar down about 5 with that on, we have a fairly clean sound. With the guitar wide open, fairly overdriven, and it has good sustain. That's pretty much how I set up my signal path. I put the tremolo in it. I've turned down for rhythm sections. And when I turn up, there's not so much tremolo there, so it kind of gives me a moving target, and the tremolo can I generally just leave it on. It allows me to So I can play single note phrases with some good bit of overdrive, and it sounds like the tremolo's not there. When it sustains, the tremolo kind of ramps up. I love that evolution of sound that it gives me. Okay, I'm going to break in here with just a little not to scale drawing of exactly what's going on. This is the volume rise and fall of a tremolo, and I'm just using a sine wave as a shape. Whatever shape you choose is it. I've got a point marked right here, which is in the terms of the volume up, which is beyond this point, I'm getting some amp or pedal saturation, and it knocks the signal down in that zone. Up to here, we don't have much going on in terms of changing the shape of that wave, but after we hit that saturation, the tremolo is sending a signal up here. The output is being tamped down here, saturated, compressed a little bit in that range. Now this saturation point, depending on your settings on your amp, your overdrive that's after the tremolo, you can move that any place. I generally run with it down pretty low, so when I turn my guitar volume down, I'm not sending as much total signal, and the saturation point rises. As I turn the guitar up, the saturation point comes down, and I get a sound that's almost not tremoloed at all. As I turn my guitar down, I get more tremolo, but I don't get a lot of volume change. So it becomes very, very easy to use live, and back to our regularly scheduled broadcast. So let's take a look at the signal path here just real quickly. I'm coming into a wah, I'm going to a chorus, I'm going then to a fuzz, I'm going then to the tremolo. The next up is, well, actually the next up is this body res, but I'm not going to count that for the electric guitar. Then the next up is a low gain overdrive, delay, reverb, tuner. So if I want a good old psychedelic tremolo, I can turn the fuzz on in front of the tremolo. And I have the same amount and intensity of tremolo all the time over the fuzz. If I don't want that, it gives me the option. Anyway, that's pretty much the long and the short of it. Now, I've got two tremolos and I've got two boards. On one board is the Catalinbread Semaphore, on the other board is the Suhr Jack Rabbit. I like them both very much because I can change the shape of the waves a little bit on it. They both have a really fine boost, which allows me to do makeup gain from on the tremolo if I need to, because part of the signal's missing when you turn the tremolo on. I like to have just a little bit of boost. I think they both sound very good. And they're both very, very, very quiet, so they fit into a system and I can just leave them on without the pulsing hiss that goes on with some tremolos. Anyway, those are just recommendations. I know you'll find your own tremolo, but this is a little different system than having the tremolo in the amp or the tremolo at the end of the signal chain. It kind of integrates it a little bit more, and I hope you have enjoyed this.